You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Trump panics as Dems mobilize behind new plan. They do this and the GOP is dead. Based on an article by Alexander Willis. Trump is panicking about a democratic theory of power. The source of the panic. Politico reports that a group of progressive House Democrats drafted a resolution calling for Supreme Court term limits, more justices, a code of ethics, and an end to the filibuster. Trump seized on the draft with theatrical hysteria, claiming it would kill the Republican Party and using it as a prop for his own demand that Republicans scrap the filibuster first. That is the surface story. The political story is simpler. Trump is not reacting to Democratic overreach so much as to the possibility that Democrats might finally respond to institutions Republicans and their judicial allies have already bent to their advantage. The actual power players, the people with real institutional power in this story, are not the House progressives who drafted a resolution. They're the Supreme Court majority that gutted Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act and the GOP-controlled states now freer to redraw congressional maps in their own favor. Those are the actors changing the terrain. Trump's post tries to invert that reality. He takes a Democratic proposal with no direct force and treats it like an imminent coup, while treating the court's attack on voting rights as background noise. That is the misdirection. The dangerous act already happened in black robes. The reaction is being sold as the defense. Manufactured emergency. Trump's real function here is not analysis but panic production. He turns a response to judicial sabotage into evidence of Democratic extremism, then uses his own alarmism as justification for another Republican power grab. This is the usual authoritarian trick. Present a defensive move as aggression, then demand preemptive surrender from everyone else. The filibuster is the key tell. Trump is not defending some sacred institutional balance. He is openly telling Republicans to eliminate a rule that still blocks them from consolidating power quickly enough. The complaint is not that democracy is being damaged. The complaint is that the damage is taking too long. Democrats still too timid. The resolution itself is modest relative to the scale of the problem. Court reform, ethics rules, term limits, ending the filibuster. These are not radical fantasies. They're the bare minimum if a political coalition intends to stop a hostile judiciary from laundering minority rule through procedure. What is striking is how much of the public conversation still treats these proposals as if they are the provocation, instead of treating the court's assault on voting rights as the provocation. That asymmetry is the real media distortion. Democrats are still being judged as though they hold equal power to the conservative legal machinery already remaking the rules. The pattern. This story is not about one post, one resolution, or one Trump tantrum. It is about a recurring structure. Conservative institutions make the first move, and Democrats are asked to explain themselves for noticing. The court narrows voting rights, Republicans exploit the opening, and Trump frames any response as the true crisis. That is how democratic erosion is normalized. The people taking power call every defense of democracy a threat to order. The answer cannot be procedural reverence for institutions already captured. It has to be power used against power before the damage hardens into the new baseline. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Ross Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Kuzil, thanks for listening.